you're wondering, is making the step-by-step sweater really worth it, especially for a true beginner? I made the step-by-step sweater as my very first long sleeve knit sweater, so I think I am the perfect person to help you get started. Before we dive in, let's do a little bit of background, shall we? So on Ravelry, it's listed as the step-by-step sweater by Florence Miller. I believe her Instagram handle is Florence Handmade, handmade by Florence. I'll have it up there. It is a free pattern on Ravelry that has a video tutorial that goes with it, and you better believe I used that resource heavily. It's a top-down raglan that comes with many sizes, as you can see here, and it's truly one that you can customize to exactly what you want to do. There are tons of modifications that you can add, or just have a very simple sweater. Like these stripes, you don't need them. The biggest thing that I want to draw your attention to here on this Ravelry page is that the yarn weight is Aran. So we're going to dive into a little bit of what different yarn weights mean, because if you're watching this, you're probably a beginner, and how that little detail kind of messed up my sweater. I still wear it, but it's not as good as it could have been. Like I alluded to a little bit earlier, my challenges with the pattern started before I actually started knitting. So remember how we said that the yarn suggested is Aran weight. Aran weight yarn is a step thicker than your normal worsted weight yarn. It is a thicker worsted, so it's still considered number 4, but it's visibly thicker. Why do I keep on repeating myself? Because number 5 is actually considered bulky. So Aran lives somewhere in that worsted range, but is a little bit chunkier. I did not realize that there are different thicknesses within thicknesses, and I chose to use the Malabrigo Rios, which, if you've worked with it, you know it's more like a DK. It's a thinner worsted. If you're confused, imagine how confused I was with my second knit pattern. So here's what I would have done. If I have a DK or a thinner worsted weight, I would hold it with a mohair so that it's a little bit thicker. Don't know what that is? I got you. This just happened to be at the top of my yarn stash. So this is a Surrey alpaca. It is the same weight as a mohair, so it's number 0. And the reason is because it's super duper thin. It's mostly fuzzy more than anything. This is that same yarn, but in cake form. So this is what one strand looks like. Versus, this is what I would call a true worsted looks like. This is the Tosh Vintage by Madeline Tosh. I know these colors don't go together, but if you hold them together, I mean at the same time, these two together would equal a number 5 bulky, because this is number 4 and this is 0, so them together is a little bit thicker. If you take a lighter worsted and you put a little bit of mohair, you're gonna have an Aran weight. If you want some help with this yarn math, drop it in the comments and I will do my best to help you. If I have not yet worked with the yarn that you're looking at, I would recommend that you look at, honestly, Reddit, or go to a local yarn store and ask for help, because they should know about all the yarns they're trying to sell. Okay, Emily, you've been rambling about yarn weights. Why does that matter? I just want to start knitting. I'm holding up the sweater and you can kind of see through it. You can kind of see the holes. That's not true of everything that I knit. You can't see through the holes. This is pretty opaque. You can't see through this. And that's because I used the correct yarn weight and gauge for this sweater and not for this one. So the correct yarn weight would have filled up more of this space, or a fuzzy mohair or Surrey alpaca would have filled up those holes, so it would be more opaque. So this is actually lighter and more breathable than I would want it to be. I wanted a nice warm winter sweater and I didn't get that. I got a fall or spring sweater just because I didn't have the right yarn weight. When you start knitting any sort of pattern, you're supposed to make a gauge swatch to figure out if you have the right number of stitches and rows, so that your sizing will not be off when you follow the instructions. Since I chose to use the striped version of the step-by-step sweater, it was actually nice to map out the distance between the stripes and figure out what I liked. Now, had I had enough experience with knitting, I would know from this gauge swatch that I needed some sort of filler, some mohair, some Surrey alpaca, or even just a thicker worsted weight, because I can see the holes. I can see it. I can see the problem. It's incredibly soft, don't get me wrong, but it's very light. I could also wear part of my gauge swatch so that I would see how much warmth I would get from it, but I didn't know that as a beginner. So make your gauge swatch, not just for how it looks, for the numbers of the stitches in the rows, but also to see if you're gonna get the kind of warmth and drape that you really want. Okay, now we're gonna dive into the pattern, and please do not get me wrong, her YouTube video is super in-depth, super duper helpful, so I'm just gonna be talking a little bit about what made me a little confused, or that I would have appreciated some extra reassurance. Because again, I didn't know what I didn't know. So if you're wondering where to find it, you're gonna go to Ravelry.com, you're gonna look for the step-by-step sweater, you're gonna find it, and you can do the Ravelry download because it's free. Remember that here she's giving the measurements of the item, not of the human. So you wanna make sure that you grab your tape measure and that that measurement is comfortable enough for you to wear. All right, if you are very, very new to knitting, you may not know what barber cord is or what putting your stitches on hold means. Basically, so that you don't unravel your whole project, you put your stitches on this piece of plastic. The difference between this piece of plastic and a string is that you have a hollow inside. I hope this one focuses and shows you the hollow inside. So what it looks like when you have barber cord on your project is just this. You have your stitches, and instead of being on your circular needles, they're on this plastic. So you take whatever needles you have, you find the hollow inside, and you just place the end of the cord on your needle, and then you slide it all the way, the project all the way onto the cord, and tie it. Do not just leave it on the cord. And that means that you can use your needles on the other parts of the project. Because who has the kind of money to buy a bunch of needles in the same size? You can spend that money on yarn. Okay, my last tip on barber cord is that you can actually get this really cheap on Amazon. If you buy it at a yarn store, they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg. You can get way more barber cord on Amazon for way cheaper. This was actually given to me as a gift. Thank you, Leslie, because she had a ton from Amazon, so you can buy some at my link in bio. You can choose whether or not you wanna do these things called German short rows. Don't let these names confuse you or discourage you because it's actually surprisingly easy. So as long as you've done any sort of other knitting project, a hat, a scarf, a tank top even, you can handle the German short rows. Follow the instructions, watch the video, you got this. It's a very common technique in a lot of patterns because it helps with that little hump that you have here in your shoulders. So it is way more comfortable to have a garment with it than without. As you can see, I chose to do the double folded collar. It's nice, it's thick, it's warm, and I didn't make it the full turtleneck length, but it is nice and warm nonetheless. So I would definitely recommend, especially if you're actually using nice warm yarn, do the double folded collar. It's really not that complicated, and you can also do it with a crochet hook if you know how to crochet. Another modification that you can make is not doing the stripes or choosing to do the stripes. The stripes were so surprisingly easy that I would recommend that you just try a gauge swatch, even if you think stripes would be too complicated for you. Just try making some stripes with a gauge swatch. I think you'll be surprised by how easy it is and end up wanting to do one too. Another recommendation that I have if you are new is doing the 1x1 ribbing, just practicing it on anything. It doesn't have to be the yarn that you're gonna work on the sweater for. Just take some scrap yarn, any size needle, and just practice the movement of a 1x1 rib, which is just knit one, purl one, because the muscle memory just won't be there. And you wanna get the ugly ones out of the way so that your pretty ones are actually on the sweater. I do wanna show you guys a little bit of the sweater with it on. So you can see here that the sweater cinches in and has a bit of a trapezoid, is that the right shape? And that is not actually in the pattern. It is not just the 1x1 ribbing cinching it in. I actually did do decreases because I did want to accentuate the waistline, especially with horizontal stripes. I wanted something to visually show that I have a waist. I don't remember how often I did the decreases, and at the time I was so new that I was literally just having fun with it. So I actually have no idea how many I did, but that's why you have that effect. Why the horizontal stripes don't give me more volume than they do for horizontal stripes. So what's my final verdict? Is making the step-by-step sweater worth it? 100%. Even if you're an experienced knitter, it's a free pattern that has a really great fit, at least for my size. Why the heck not? It's great, it's simple. At many points, it just becomes a mindless knit, even if you're a beginner. So I think it's a really great project to get started on, especially because there's so many resources out there for it. Video, you can go on Reddit, the comment section, this video, for example. You'll be much better served with a pattern that's seen so many knitters of so many levels of experience than choosing something for your first knit that has a little bit less of that, a little fewer resources. My final verdict, it is easy to read, easy to understand, really great resources. Overall, 10 out of 10. None of my complaints about this sweater are related to the pattern. And if I had made the effort to buy an Aran weight yarn or ask a sales associate instead of just trying to get by with a worsted, I wouldn't have had any of the complaints that I do today. So yeah, it's my fault. But hey, that's part of the process of any hobby, making mistakes and learning from them, and now I can share them with you. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me be able to make more videos like this for you. And I do plenty of other reviews on common patterns, yarns, and tools. So check them out. If you've made the step-by-step sweater before, did you like it? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.